Pull up a chair and buckle up. It's the Original Strength Podcast.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Original Strength Podcast. It's been a minute, and when I say it's been a minute, I don't know that I've made a podcast in about a year. And to be honest, I've missed you. So I thought I would do a podcast show. No, the real reason I'm doing a podcast show is because this week on YouTube, I had a couple of really good questions that I thought may be useful to some of you that actually watch the videos and that engage in the movement practices every week. So I'll get right to the questions. The first question says, if a core reset doesn't seem to be doing much after retesting, should we continue with it or just focus on the ones that retest well? What the viewer is talking about is the movements that I show on the Original Strength channel. They're pretty much resets, and what that means is that they refresh and restore your nervous system and allow your body to move optimally well. They kind of help you be the best you that you can be and live your life the way you want to. And you can test these resets, these movements, against your normal baseline movements. For instance, you can do you know how you squat, you can do a squat, and then you can do one of those movements that I show every week on YouTube. And then you can revisit and retest your squat to see how your body's moving. If your body's moving better, it really liked that reset or that movement that you just did. If your body's not moving better, it means it was okay. It was no threat at all. If your body's moving worse, it says, hey, look, Johnny, I really didn't like what you just did there, so I'm going to take some of your movement away. Anyway, you can, at the speed of your nervous system, get feedback and information from your body based on what you're doing. If you care and if you tune into your body and you want to know, hey, is this good for me? The bottom line is, though, the viewer's question is a great question. Should he continue to do resets that don't improve his body's ability to move? And my answer is yes, absolutely. So just because a reset doesn't improve your ability to move doesn't mean it's not good for you, and it doesn't mean that the movement is not serving a purpose. So if you retest something and you stay the same, you might think, well, that's pretty vanilla. Vanilla is a really good flavor, by the way. I love it, but that's information. That means that movement is okay and it's not a threat to your body. And the goal is that if you pressed reset enough and you lived in your design, and by the way, guys, these movements, they're just your design. We're designed to do these things. Like 90% of the things I show every week, we're designed to do them. The resets, by the way, are breathing, head control, rolling, rocking, crawling, gait pattern. If we do those 5 things, which we're designed to do throughout our entire lives, they are restorative, they heal our brain, they keep our nervous system sharp, they keep our tissues in our body well, because we're living and moving and being optimal. Anyway, just because a reset doesn't improve your movement baseline doesn't mean it's not good for you, because we want to get to the point where the result would always be vanilla. Like, we don't want something to continually improve our movement baseline because we want to always be moving optimally well. All that to say is we're designed to engage in these movements daily, and if we did, and if we lived in our design, we would always be moving optimally well, and we wouldn't be able to retest a movement to see if it was good for us or not unless we were looking for a movement that took away our ability to move. We're always supposed to move like vanilla, if that makes any sense at all. So yes, keep doing the move. There's still benefit in doing the resets, even if they don't improve the way you move. For instance, crawling on the hands and knees will always be fantastic for your brain, even if it doesn't improve your squat or your toe touch or your back flip or your handstand. It is always going to be good for your brain because it keeps both hemispheres communicating with themselves. It makes your brain very efficient. It keeps your body tied together. And if it doesn't improve the way you move, that means that movement pattern is probably very well in place and a solid foundation for you. So it's a good thing. But you want to keep it up, or you want to keep engaging in it, so that you don't lose it. Now, if you crawl really, really well, I'm going to go ahead and say, just because I used a poorer example, crawling is not the best example because when we walk, that should be crawling standing up. So if you're a really, really good walker, you're essentially, and that means you're moving all four limbs at a time. You're essentially you've got that pattern, and it's always serving you very, very well. And well, that brings us to walking. You should just be walking every day. Walking is the movement you're designed to do, and it is a reset. It is great for your brain, and it actually keeps your body healthy and strong. I won't go too deep into that, but thank you for the question. It was a great question. Yes, it's okay, and you should still engage in the movements that maybe they don't improve the way you move because they're still useful. All right, my next question from another viewer was, I want to ask you about making gains from workouts. I am 18 years old and my body is weak as F. Can you give me some advice to be like you or something like that? I'm asking about the routine in this video, and I'm also asking about sleeping and eating. Can you please help me? So this viewer is 18 years old, and I think this is an important question because he's a kid, and he, for whatever reason, he thinks he's not as strong as he should be, and he's asking for help. By the way, he wrote in on a video about the Hindu push-up. So my advice to this viewer is, and I wrote to him, but my advice is to just show up often. His body has got more than enough strength to do the things he wants to do. He just maybe doesn't have access to that strength. And at 18 is such a hard age. Anything in the teens is just a hard age. The body's clumsy. It's growing. You have image issues. You listening to the world. You're watching social media, Instagram, and just things can get off the rails. My best advice is you have the strength you need. You just gotta be able to find it, tap into it, and get access to it. And the way you do that is you show up every day and often as often as possible, and you just engage in your design. If you're talking about doing push-ups, maybe you set a goal of 3 to 4 times a week doing 100 push-ups every time, in a day. And you don't have to do them all at one time though. You could do 10 at a time. Every hour do 10 until you get to 100, and that is okay, because if you show up often enough, you're telling your body, I want you. I want access to you. And the body works on use it or lose it. It works on use it to build it and to get it, to have access to it. So if you engage in it enough and you stress your body enough or you challenge it enough, it's going to say, you know what? I'm really tired of this guy always showing up and doing this thing. I got to make this thing easier to do. So I'm going to give you access to some strength. I'm going to build some muscle. I'm going to lay down some tissue. I'm going to direct these resources that you call food to go to the places that are just going to help me do this activity that you keep doing, because obviously you want to do it. You keep showing up to do it. And that's how it works. So if you keep knocking on that door, your body will open the door. And that's the most important thing I can tell you is don't give up. Don't feel like you're weak. Don't feel frustrated. It's okay to feel frustrated, but you're a kid. You've got the world in front of you. Even if you were 99 years old, I'd tell you the same thing. Hey man, just start moving. I know it might be hard. The hardest thing is making the decision to engage, and then the next hardest thing is just showing up, and then the next hardest thing is actually doing the thing that you're showing up to do. But eventually it gets easy and it's no longer hard. Why? Because you kept knocking on the door. And even your mind and your soul, they'll get used to it too. And what was once uncomfortable or hard to do is no longer uncomfortable, and it's easy to do. And it's all, the key is showing up. As far as sleep goes, respect it. Your body needs rest. Rest helps you recover. My best advice is to make sure you try to have a regular bedtime and a regular wake time. At your age, at 18, man, anywhere between 6 to 9 hours is good, but your body's going to tell you what that is. I don't know what that is. Just make sure that you sleep well and you eat well. You asked about eating, but it was kind of open-ended. Eat whole foods. If God made it, you're probably okay to eat it. If man messed with it in a laboratory or on a big factory assembly line, it's probably not the best thing for you. But I'll go ahead and tell you, your body knows exactly what to do with food that it was designed to eat. It knows what to do with whole foods. It may not know what to do with Frankenstein foods, but that's a may. I'm no scientist, but I do know how to look at the design of things, and I know your body's designed to eat whole foods. And I know that it runs really, really well when you eat whole foods, enough whole foods and not too many whole foods. Anyway, I thought those questions were helpful. No matter how old you are, you have more than enough strength in your body to live the life you want to live. You just may not have access to it. And the way you get access to it is you ask for it. You keep showing up, and your body will give it to you. All right, so those were my 2 questions this week. I thought those were pretty good. Now, I have a tip of the week. Tim's tips. So I like to sometimes share things that make me happy, and I think every day should be like Christmas. So right here in this coffee cup, oh, it's a Christmas cup. How about that? You see a tea bag here. It's not just any tea bag. It's a peppermint tea bag, and it is in coffee. It's a peppermint coffee, and I don't think we should have to wait for Christmas time for Starbucks to start making peppermint mochas and stuff like that. And somehow I had the crazy idea to put a peppermint tea bag in my coffee one morning, and I gotta tell you, I absolutely love it. It's phenomenal. Every day's Christmas. And if you're one, this is crazy, but this is cool. If you're one of those people where coffee upsets your stomach, well, have no fear, because peppermint soothes and eases your stomach. So if we put these 2 together, maybe we get vanilla. Well, it doesn't taste like vanilla, but I'm just saying maybe maybe they cancel each other, or effectively like make it, oh, I can drink this. Either way, if you enjoy peppermint mochas or peppermint coffees, this is phenomenal. And yes, you can put cocoa powder in there too if you want to. Also good. But I was really more excited about the peppermint tea in the coffee, because that's got to be one of the greatest discoveries I've ever accidentally made. All right. Now, my friend Joey told me I should also talk to you about this. Tim's Takes. He said you should have something called Tim's Hot Takes, and I don't know about that. But we were having this conversation about nutrition and how people overeat. And I was thinking about storage units. Did you know one of the biggest businesses in the country, in the United States, are having those storage units? And what happens is people collect so much stuff they can't keep it in their homes, and then they rent this storage space and they put all their stuff in it. And then they keep collecting stuff, and some people have to rent more than one storage space. But the weird thing about storage spaces is that once you put all your stuff in them, rarely do you ever go back and get it. Like if you can't use it in your home, and you have to put it in a building that's like a couple of miles away from your home, it's not easy to get access to. It's a burden to get access to, and well, you're probably just gonna leave it there, which means you probably just don't need it. And I thought that was a great parallel to like eating and nutrition. Like our body is designed to store things optimally, but if we take in too much and we don't have room for it to be optimally used, well, what do we do with it? Well, we need to store it. We got to store it somewhere. But the problem with storing it somewhere and always taking it, and see, the reason the storage unit business is so big is because in America, or probably anywhere, we take in more things than we need and more things than we can actually use and hold. So we have to have another space to put it. Well, if we do the same thing with food, and a lot of us do, is we consume more than we need. And food's a wonderful resource, but we only need a certain amount of resources to live the lives we want to live. And so somehow a lot of us collect extra resources and then we store it. But once it goes into storage, we rarely get it back out. And I think that is a great analogy to how the body works. Is once we put food into storage as fat, it's really hard for us to go and get it back out. And it becomes easier, even if we do get it out, it becomes easier to put it back up in storage if we should start consuming and taking in too much again. It was just a weird thought I had. And I guess there's no solve to this other than try to just take in what you need. And I know that's hard, but especially in this is such a consumer-driven society, and everything about food is eat, buy. And food is wonderful. I love food. It tastes so good. I'm one of those people that like good tasting food, and I believe we have taste buds for a reason, and I believe food's supposed to taste good. But I also believe we're supposed to have control, and we're supposed to love our bodies, and I believe that food actually is supposed to serve a purpose other than just pleasing our tongue. It's supposed to give us muscles and boost our immune system and give us energy and help us live a great life. But if we overconsume it and our body just is not able to use it, if we can't put those resources to use, we store the resources. And once we start overstoring the resources, we tend to just we get good at storing, but we're not really good at taking it back out. So I don't know if that means anything, but I just thought it was a neat idea because I was like, man, all these storage units, and once it goes into storage, it stays in storage until you die a lot of times. And the body works like that too. Anyway, that was Tim's not so hot take. I don't know. Joey, thank you for the idea. It was fun to get on here and ramble again. All right, I hope that was somewhat helpful and almost entertaining. Guys, if you have questions, feel free to put them in the comments section of the video. Like if there's questions about movements or training, anything you think I could be helpful with, I'll give it a shot. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you have a great day, weekend, or year. I don't know how often you come here. But all right, guys, I'm Tim with Original Strength. This was the first podcast in probably a year, and now you're thinking, yeah, I know why it was the first podcast in a year, because dude, that was rough. All right, a little rusty, but maybe we'll get back into it. Have a good one.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Now get outside and play.